Hey team, out in the shop today working on my 96 Ultra. I've got a couple of summer projects that I'd like to get done with it, so today I am going to be starting one of them. Every year it comes up, I want to take my single pipe Ultra and put triple pipes on it, but I don't know if the timing is correct. And it seems like there's a bunch of incomplete Facebook posts and old hardcore sledder posts out there of people describing half of the procedure. So today I'm going to try making a video that helps add some clarity to some of the instructions on how to time your machine. So first things first, you're going to need some components, and the first and most important is a service manual. Mine I downloaded online, and I have that. Before you do anything, download a service manual, get familiar with it. There's 100 different ways of doing it. This is the way I've been taught how to do it. It's not to say it's the only way, but it's very close in line with the way that the service manual lays it out. So get familiar with the service manual. If you don't understand something in there, ask somebody to clarify for you. But if you're not doing it with the service manual, then you're just taking a stab in the dark. So get familiar with that. A couple other components that you're going to need. I've just got my standard old school sun timing light, battery to power it down there. I've also got a dial indicator. So I have modified this. I'll show you how it works in a little bit, but I've modified it by hollowing out a spark plug so I can just thread it in. And what this is going to do is measure my piston travel. So if I find top dead center, then I can rotate the engine back from there and figure out how many inches of piston travel I am prior to top dead center, and then we can convert that to degrees of rotation. And then I've just got some old Romex here. I just stole the ground out of this one and used it to create a timing pointer. You have over on the flywheel some marks on there, so if we rotate it we can maybe find the marks. I've found that to be a very unreliable way. There they are. I've found that to be a very unreliable way to time a machine, especially because you want to time it, or I've always been taught to time it at full operating RPM. So we're going to be timing this at 8,000 RPM. So to do that, we're going to find exactly where the machine's mag cylinder is the prescribed distance or degrees in piston travel before top dead center. Once we find that, we're going to take our Sharpie and we're going to mark it against our primary clutch, because that's going to become our timing pointer that we are shooting our sun gun at, so our timing light. Running back over here to our service manual, after you've read through it, you are going to come to a page like this where you have you can find your specific engine. This one's EC68PL01, and you can see that we have all of our timing marks and stats for timing it at 3,500 RPM, but we also have what the operating timing is at full engine operating RPM. So for this particular engine, it's going to be 16 degrees at 8,000 RPM. That is what we are going to time it at today, but what we have to look at is the fact that everything that we are looking at here all pertains to 3,500 RPM. So what we need to do is convert 16 degrees into distance of piston travel, and the way we do that is in another section of the service manual. You can find your engine, so EC68PL is us. For the given rod length and stroke of the crankshaft, we can convert 16 degrees of crankshaft rotation into how much piston travel that will be. So as I rotate the engine 16 degrees back from top dead center, how many inches will the piston go back down into the hole? So for our combination here, we're going to be looking at 0.0622 inches will equal our 16 degrees before top dead center. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the mag side spark plug, and we're going to thread in our handy dandy dial indicator. And again, this one I just happened to make from stuff laying around here. So what we're going to do is we are going to get this happy in there. We're going to run this engine up until we're at top dead center. I just took my dial indicator out and just got it kind of in the ballpark of where top dead center is. So you can see I'm just running the clutch over here by hand, and I'm going to be running the piston up and down by rotating the crankshaft forward and back. So you can see I'm rotating it back right now, and there looks like it's about top dead center right there. So we can pretty safely say that this is top dead center right here. So I'm going to zero out my dial indicator. Not the easiest thing to do this with one hand. So we're pretty happy with where that's at. And now that we've got the dial indicator zeroed out, what we're going to do is rotate the crankshaft backwards until we get to our prescribed amount before top dead center. Again, 16 degrees of crankshaft rotation ends up equaling 0.0, there we go, 0.0622. And once we rotate it back that amount, that is, once we get where we're happy on the dial indicator that we've got that amount of piston travel, then we're going to take our Sharpie and we are going to mark on the flywheel directly in line with our dial indicator, or with our timing pointer, and then this is what we're going to use to time it off of using the timing light. All right, so we did the math and we have figured out that, so we're sitting right back at top dead center again, and I've gone and made my mark already, but you can just kind of visually see that if the crankshaft was rotating forward, it'd be going this way. Here we are at top dead center, and if I rotate it back 100, 200, basically right here is my 0.0622, and you can see that I've got my mark directly in line with my pointer. So now when we go and put this thing back together, what we're going to be doing is taking our timing light and we'll be going straight on at our timing mark there, and that's what we're shooting for at 8,000 RPM. So what we'll do next, we will take this all apart. We'll take the timing indicator off, put the spark plug back in, we'll throw the belt back on, we'll warm the sled up with the belt on it, and then when you do the timing, you actually have to take the belt off in order to get your 8,000 RPM. So then you're just going to make sure that you don't hover over the top of it as you look at it. You sit back here and point from back here. That way, in case the clutch does come apart, you're somewhat safely out of the way. So we'll get the engine up to operating temp, and then get everything, get the belt taken off of it, take that out, get our timing light we'll set up on the third spark plug here on the mag side, and then we will end up shooting over here. So that will be our next steps, and we'll get that rolling. So one thing to note before we take off on this, so I've got it sitting right at where I want my timing mark to be right now, but earlier I mentioned that I don't trust the flywheels, and I've been proven wrong on other ones. But if we come and look at this, we ironically are sitting dead on the main operating RPM line. So this gives me at least some hope that this one is on. So we can use this as our double check. We could time it from over on this side as well, since we are lining up directly with that timing mark. So a little bit safer to do it from over on this side. So what I could do is, once I do take the belt off, I don't have to be hovering over there by the clutch side. But it looks like our timing mark does line up over here on the flywheel, so that's good. If everything works great, then perfect. Otherwise, what we'd be doing is we'd be popping that recoil off, and then we'd have to pop the flywheel off, turn the stator whichever direction we need, whether we need to advance or retard it, and then we can put her back together. So again, a lot easier for me to do this now with just a single pipe. I can take this off of there in no time, get the recoil off, rather than having to take triple pipes off it, put them back on and all that. So I'd just rather we do it now rather than later. right, guys, just a quick recap since we did the setup on the Ultra to get the timing done. Unfortunately, I did the actual timing a different night than when I had everything set up. I had my neighbor Tim come over. He gave me a hand with watching the tack. It's kind of a 3-man operation or 2-person operation. You need 3 hands to do it. 1 person to watch the timing mark, 1 person to watch the tack, and another to run the throttle. So we ended up not being able to video that, but just a quick recap on what we found. This one was set right on for the timing, so I did not make any adjustments to the stator in order to change the timing. So we have this thing set to go at 16 degrees at 8,000. Some guys will tell you that you're supposed to retard the timing a couple degrees. I elected not to do that on this one. I'm going to put some billet heads on here and basically roll the dice. So we're going to run this one with the SP CDI box, and we're going to run her at 16 degrees timing. Where you guys elect to put yours is kind of up to you. But again, just wanted to recap kind of what we found and what we ended up with here. So the machine is ready to rock and roll as far as I'm concerned. We're ready to put the pipes on and put the heads on and bore the carbs and some other fun stuff here during the summertime. So again, just wanted to do a quick recap video, show you guys the entire process. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a real mechanic. I'm not even a real YouTuber. So yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt. Read the service manual yourself, learn the process, but hopefully you guys were able to pick up a couple tricks along the way, and hopefully what you guys learned is useful for your own project, whether it be an Ultra or something else. So in the meantime, have a good one, take care, and we will talk to you guys later.